Hi, and welcome to the Web of Light. Our show is dedicated to introducing you to people who are committed to bringing more positive love and light to our planet. My name is Reverend Dr. Lori Powers Otto, and I will be filling in for Dr. Kevin over the next few weeks. Dr. Kevin has gone to be by the side of his very dear friend who has gone into hospice. So we at the Web of Light would like to ask you to join us in sending Dr. Kevin, his dear friend, and their family lots of love during this time of transition. Thank you. Now, again, I don't really have, well, I do have a quote for you. It's a little long-winded, but bear with me. I promise our guest will tie this all together. So the energy you vibrate is the energy you attract. Positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. Change your vibe, change your life. We've all heard that phrase, but not many of us believe it. But, as Albert Einstein famously said, everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Okay, so now you're saying, how? How do I change my energy? Okay, it's a very good question. And there are countless ways to do it. But sometimes we need help. Let's face it. Sometimes we just don't know how to do it. And that is where people like our amazing guests come in. Mary Nelsen has made it her life's work to identify and remove negative energy which may be around a person. Over the last 25 years, Mary, as I said, has made it her life's work to identify and remove negative energy which may be around a person, their pets, their homes, or other physical space where they spend a lot of time, like your job. Without our knowledge, people get stuck and they get surrounded by negative forces that can make you sick and keep you from achieving your life's dreams. Suffocating in a space of unhealthy energies can stop individuals from living a full, creative life filled with healthy relationships, strong physical and mental health, and overall well-being. First, she cleanses your energy field layer by layer using her gifts, her special gifts. I'll let her tell you about those. And what's no longer serving you, she takes it out like the trash, gets rid of it. So, Mary, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us more.
Tell you more. So, the vibe you attract. It's kind of like also finding your people. When you're with your people, you have this high vibration, and that's that high vibration that actually keeps you healthy. It keeps you well, and it keeps you away. I shouldn't say keeps you away, but it helps resonate to keep negativity away from you.
Yes.
Because it's that low vibration, that low negativity that keeps us down, keeps us upset, depression, sick, until we're just, not doing well anymore. We're not of service not only to ourselves, but, not to other people as well.
Right. So is it fair to say that negative energy or low vibrations, negative, vibrating negatively is the root cause of illness, injury?
Yes. I would have to give that, yes, it is a yes. Because every time, a lot of people have been depressed. A lot of people have just got out of a, bad relationship, or they were left, when they suddenly, now their partner is gone.
Right.
We get into that mode. We just get into that low vibration. And it's really hard to get out of it. But there's certain things that you can do to get out of it, because what that low vibration is you not being in the present. I shouldn't say you, that person not being, when you're not in the present, that's when your world starts crumbling all around you, and you become smaller and smaller, and that little light becomes smaller and smaller.
So it's okay, obviously, if your partner passes away, of course, grief is a natural.
Absolutely.
The key is not to unpack and live there.
Exactly. That emotional baggage, pack it up, put it in a suitcase, and, put it outside. You don't need that emotional baggage to be attached. But as far as, when someone passes away, Absolutely. When I know of friends who have passed away, in fact, I had somebody very near to me pass away a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And thank you. And it's, gosh, all those memories start to swarm in, and then all of a sudden, I even found myself doing this, and I knew better, but I let myself go there and grieve because this woman, I'd known her since I was 7 years old, but then I have to realize, Mary, you're not in the present. Start becoming more, look outside, if you have a counter around you, regular counter like you'd have in your kitchen, to press up on it with your fingertips, that brings you in the present. To wiggle your toes, that brings you in the present. To take those, and it's such a scenario, but take those deep breaths, it brings you into the present. And then you'll see your vibration start to flower. It starts to...
See, I love that because a lot of people talk about being in the now, and a lot of people get overwhelmed, thinking they have to do, X, Y, Z, it must be this, must be that. But here you are, you just gave them 3 very, very simple things that anybody could do to be in the now, in the present. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
People overcomplicate things.
They really do. And then sometimes, when the past wants to come in and snatch your happiness and your glory and, your brightness, what I do is I think of a meadow that I passed when I was about 13 years old, going on a camping trip. And I just remember that meadow. And I Got Shoes with Wings On by Fred Astaire was playing on the radio. So next thing you know, boom, I'm taken back to that place and just like, I'm okay. Of course, it took something from the past to bring me to the present, but still, that's my mechanism, what I use.
It's your safety.
Yes, my coping mechanism. Yeah.
Which is fine to have, and that's another misconception I find a lot of people have, is that they're not allowed, they're supposed to just, everything is peaches and cream, and that's not true for anybody.
That's not reality.
So it's okay to have a coping mechanism, a memory, a place that triggers happiness in you, that brings you, as you said, it's in the past, but it brings you to the present.
Right. It does.
And it's a great little tool to use that too many people deny themselves.
Well, it's like when you're in labor, you have to have your focal point. It's okay, I'm really upset right now, I need my focal point. Boom. There's your focal point.
Right. So now that's part of what you teach people, or
when it comes up in conversation, when I get a call, Mary, I need help right now, and I just like, okay, wiggle your toes. That's the first thing I tell them, wiggle your toes, be here, be now. And then the deep breaths, which always helps. So it's the deep breath, wiggle toes, and then I find them to be more centered. And depending on what a friend, whoever is calling for, then, either saging them or raising their vibration.
Yes, I saw you're called your sage lady.
Yes.
And why are you called your sage lady?
Because I sage a lot of people. I sage a lot of people. I sage everything, just about everything.
Are you the crazy lady in the supermarket saging strangers?
No.
I've seen that.
Lower your prices. No, I'm not the crazy woman out there. However, if you ask me to sage you, and then a lot of people still don't know what saging is, which I find in this day and age really, it's
mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
So explain to them now, in case anybody watching doesn't know what it is.
Okay, saging is the same thing as smudging. Okay, you light sage. I use white loose leaf sage because to me it goes in and it does the job. And I don't necessarily say a prayer or, I do ask God to be with me while I'm there doing it because it's His hand that helps me.
Right.
I don't do it. He does it.
Right.
I'm just a tool. And I light it, of course, and then I lightly blow it out, and then the smoke from it, that's the smudging. So that's where I go and I release all negative energy 3,000 miles to the north, east, south, and west, depending on the situation. If it's somebody who travels, then I say globally, because they're traveling, they're amongst all these other people who are not grounded, and their energy's all over the place, and it will attach to you like starfish,
Yeah, unless you have some sort of protection up or some sort of,
Right, and then from there is when I go in deeper. I go into the body. I release like an onion, layers and layers of old junk that they're either carrying that has attached themselves. You know, on one person, I found an argument they had with their mom from, 20 years ago that was still hanging on. So I go in, release it all. That's just the outside. Then I go in, depending on what's around the skeletal. Sometimes I have to take a bulldozer and knock the cement off until what I call their sprite, which is also what I would consider their soul, comes out. And then I like, hi, thank you for arriving. And then I get rid of all this stuff. I have a vat that everything goes in as ashes. I make sure that it has turned into ashes. And then to dispose of it, I make it into a living compost for somebody else to use, because in my experience, it has been where a lot of people work on you, but they're not getting rid of all that stuff that they just took off of me or you or anybody else.
Right.
So I have learned to be responsible, because you don't know who's walking by and who's going to, now that's going to attach to them.
Right. I know when I'm doing energy healing or, pretty much anything that I'm doing, I will always transmute that negative energy into positive,
Yes.
into love, into light, and send it off and have them recycle it for good.
Yes.
Because you don't want to just pull out a negative energy and then leave it floating around. You got to do something with it.
Exactly. And this actually happened to me. I was in Sedona, Arizona, and I was having a great old time. Next thing you know, I have this such back pain, and I don't know where it came from. I was fine. So, made a phone call to a friend of mine, and she was like, you just picked up, because I was so open and I wasn't guarded. I was still young and still, learning. And doggone it, because people go there to dump their stuff, but no one's there cleaning it up.
Right.
So people like me, happy and all, and then sucked right on.
Well, I totally get it. I know, like, before I learned to protect myself fully, when I would be doing energy healing on people, I would physically feel their symptoms.
Oh.
Or, whatever was wrong with them. I
Totally
would physically feel it. And I had to learn how to release all of that. And then I had to learn to protect myself. I still feel it, but I don't take it on.
That's good.
This way I know what's going on with them. I can pinpoint it, I can identify with it, but I never take it on myself.
Right.
Which a lot of psychics, energy healers, whatever.
That's how they end up getting sick.
They don't.
Right.
Right. They take it on, and you can't. It's not your baggage.
It's right. That's why I say that emotional baggage, open the suitcase, put it in, leave it at the door, leave it at the curb. My aunt, she's the one who actually started cultivating my clairvoyancy, because there's a lot of clairvoyancy that goes on with this.
Yes.
And I was just doing readings for the first time, and she goes, how did you do it? And I go, my eyes are killing me. How come my eyes hurt so much? Because you're using your energy wrong. You're really trying to read that person. You're not letting the energy flow. And then after that, there was no problem.
Yeah.
But there's a big part of what we do is also the ego. Ego cannot be in it whatsoever. Once you start taking the responsibility, oh, I did this, I did that, boom, you will hit it like a brick wall.
That, and if you're in it for the money, both will kill you every time.
Exactly.
And not just figuratively.
Right.
Sometimes literally.
Sometimes literally.
You have to be careful.
Yeah.
But rewarding, worth it.
Oh my gosh. When you know that you've helped someone and they're finally free, literally from, I had woman with migraines for years. I worked on her a couple times, and she was like, oh my gosh, they're gone, and they remained gone. I mean, there's story after story, and and I don't want the ego to get into it, but yet there's that I helped someone, and that's that's really the whole synopsis for all of this that we do. We're helping people.
And the gratitude that you feel that you were able to take spirit, take God.
I go, thank you, Jesus.
And help somebody.
Yes.
It's a blessing beyond measure.
Yes, and literally there are no words for it, because you feel that vibration, and you're just so grateful for that. It's like, okay, who am I going to meet that's going to need my help now? Who's the next person? Oh, I love it.
So if somebody comes to see you, what's going to happen? I mean, how does this work with you?
How does this work? That's a good question. I have to really think about it. Because, you know, it gets so normal.
Right, you just do it so
Right,
automatically.
I just do it. So usually I'll set up a time because I also do remote. You know, I have people in Tennessee, California, all over the place. And they'll call and say, Mary, something's a little off. I don't understand what's going on. I usually talk with them a little bit. You know, have already tuned in, but I want to hear what they have to say. And I said, okay, well then, if it's a saging, I will go ahead and be quiet. They're on the phone. You know, they're part of the situation. And I sage, you know, their outer and then go in. As far as tap tuning,
So now what's tap tuning?
Oh, tap tuning. Okay, the tap tuning. That is, I would have to say, energetically almost along the lines, well, there's a similarity between it and saging as far as removing and getting rid of. But the tap tuning, it's like tuning a violin, you know, how you have the pegs to tune the strings. When I tap on the collarbone, you know, I tap on bones in the body, and there's a frequency that I can hear. And usually the client can hear it too. Well, they hear the tone of the, let's just say the collarbone. One side's higher, one side's lower. What I do is, through the vibrational raising, bring up the low side. And then I bring them up higher, so that your whole, at the end of the session, the body is at this such high vibration, basically nothing can penetrate you, you know?
That is so cool.
It is amazing. And it's not just, you know, the front, the back. So, and then on the etheric level, I raise the body up and I see if there's anything in there that needs to be removed. So I remove all of that. I massage all the internal organs, the tendons, because there's no flesh. I just see what's underneath the flesh. I do this thing called a brain bath, which, my goodness gracious, it came to me by accident, but I literally take it out and put it like this in purification water, okay? And I clean out the skull, and most of the time I have to use, you know, a little water jet thing to clear all the junk that's in there.
Yeah.
And put it back in. I have the body this way, and then after I clear everything out, I just bring in white light for clarity, and then I bring in root chakra for balance, or for
Grounding.
thank you, for grounding. And then they meet right at the belly button, because that's like one of your main intersections. And then, you know, it just throughout the whole body, so that you are balanced with clarity and grounding.
Okay, now I know a lot of people. I've never heard anyone using this technique. How in the world did you get into this technique?
That's another amazing story. So, I'm living in Glover, Vermont. A friend of mine tells me about this book called, I believe it's called Ear of the Angels. Dina Spear of the Singing Woods wrote it. And she started out by fixing, restoring, making violins. And then she started realizing that she didn't have to remove wood. There was this vibration that would happen. So a friend of mine were reading the book, and then after we finished it, I just looked at him and I said, I can do this. Get on the couch. I can raise your vibration. And by golly, I did. I just knew that I could. And like I said, also the clairvoyancy. So I also knew where stuck energy was in the body. And I was freaking myself out. I was just like, how do I know this? So I just went with it. And then he was actually going to school for making and restoring violins up in Glover, Thurman Knight. And I was telling Thurman about it, and he's like, Mary, you have to do it on one of my violins. So I tapped tuned the violin. I can get woof tones out of the violin. It is amazing. And then I can even tell because even when you have a violin in its case and you bump it, that's trauma to the violin, because the wood is still breathing, it's still living. It may not be on that tree, but it's still this living organism.
Yes.
And it picks up stuff and language, and it knows when it's with an angry person. So basically the violin is just like a person. Negativity can attach itself to it too.
Well, everything is energy, so anything can be affected.
Right. So he tells me about, oh, you need to see my friend Dina, Dina Spear in Ithaca, New York. And I said, okay, you know, why not? And he sent along a recommendation. I meet her, and we just hit it off, and we start talking. I said, I had this dream about this painting. You have it. She goes, oh, this one? And I was like, yes, that one.
Nice.
But anyway, so Dina cultivated even more because of the clairvoyancy and learning how to do the vibrational raising, and then this whole thing just happened.
See, divine intervention.
It was divine intervention.
You opened the door, and Spirit said, all right, let's do this, girl.
Yeah.
And took
and
you.
I'm doing it.
Nice.
Yes, and I love
Thank you.
also when I can, you're welcome, when I can raise the vibration on a musician and it could be a cello, violin, anything like that, and raise their vibration together, and then when they play, it is phenomenal.
Can you make my guitar play nice with me?
Yes, I can. I can raise your vibration, raise your guitar's vibration, and then
It's
raise
not-
your vibrations together.
It's not the guitar's fault. It really is my fault. But if you
never
can make
know.
the guitar step it up a
Sure,
bit,
absolutely. But how's your chord, changing?
I'm working on it. Well, actually, I'm not working on it, and that's the problem.
Okay, practice. You have to practice.
My poor guitar. So beautiful. But it's funny because my granddaughter recently took up violin.
Oh.
And we gave our granddaughter and our grandson the choice of learn any instrument you want. And they both picked piano. And then she's like, but I'd like to also learn the violin. So while at the recitals, they always have her play piano, but at home, she rarely touches the piano. She's always playing the violin.
That's
It
her thing.
speaks to her.
Yep.
And she's 7.
That's her
Don't
at
get that
7.
wrong.
Wow, that's her instrument. That is her
Right?
instrument.
And I totally get what you're saying when you say that an instrument is like a person. I mean, they have their own personalities, they have their own energy signatures.
They do.
Everything. And like you said, negative can attach to anything. And I'm sure you've told people this. When you bring something secondhand into your home,
You have to sage it.
sage it
You
right
have
away.
got to sage it because now you
'Cause-
just brought in wherever it was from into your home. And you want to
Right.
know why you're arguing so much lately.
Right. What's different?
Right. Clothes, anything from a secondhand store, anything. I'm saging so much, I don't have to worry about it, because I sage in a room in my house.
Yeah.
So everything's pretty well covered.
I-
But for everybody else, yes, saging would be a good thing.
I've gotten to the point where there's a bowl of sage that sits in one part, and I got sage hanging in different places in my house. I grow my own sage, so I got sage everywhere.
Wow.
So I totally get it. That's why I was very excited to meet you.
I have not grown my own sage yet, so I'm going to have to get some pointers from you. I would
easy.
love to do that because I'm getting mine from California.
So easy.
Okay.
It practically grows itself, and
That's even better.
it overwinters. So like mine didn't even die off until I don't know, January maybe, and it's already starting to come back.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I was super excited.
It sounds very low
low
maintenance.
low maintenance, which is how I like my life. No drama. Easy,
Really.
easy.
It always seems to be at my heels, that drama. I'm just like, bye.
It's trying to get your attention.
Right, it is.
I just think though that it's so amazing that you can figure out, like, how do you figure out that there's a negative energy attached to like their pet?
Well, for one, I can do the pet communication thing. So, and to be totally honest, there's only been one animal I cannot communicate with, and that is my daughter's dog. I don't know why. She's
close.
always trying to communicate with me, and I'm just like, her name is Lily. I'm like, Lily, I don't know what you're saying. It's the only dog in my entire life I've not been able to communicate
Because
with.
you're too close.
I think so because I really love her. But anyway.
You're too close.
Yeah, too close. So, could you please repeat the question? What the vibration of? It's like it's for me in my life. It's even just like when someone comes in from the past and needs to get a message to someone. I don't hear them talking. Their mouth never moves. I know what the vibration is that they're saying. Same thing with the animal. They emanate that vibration. Like a woman, I worked on her horse, and she was, because I get tested all the time. And she was like, oh, here's my horse, tell me what you think. And so, I immediately went down the leg, and it's like, your horse had an injury that it looks fine, but your horse is not well. And of course, then she's like, oh, yeah, this, that, and the other thing happened, blah, blah, blah. How did you know? And, well, your horse told me, Kind of like K-Pax, when he's talking about the dog. Dog's going deaf. He doesn't like it when you sneak up behind her. It's that same thing. It's
Right.
that whole vibration.
Yeah. Animals are amazing.
Oh my gosh, they really are. And all of it's talking. Trees. All you have to do is just sit there. They're telling you what's going on out there. They're because of their frequency and that vibration that they're putting out.
Does your guy say to you, like mine, could you please not talk to the trees when we go out tonight?
No.
All right. My husband doesn't say that anymore, but he used to. He's like, now he does it. So I've converted him, but it used to be,
that's good.
could you not talk to the squirrel or the whatever? I'm like,
Yeah,
that would be rude.
I lived in one place where those trees were screaming all the time, and I think it's because they knew that the new owners of the home that were coming in, because after we had moved out,
My heart's already breaking.
it was the apple trees fell over. Everything just started to just crumble.
Yeah.
Literally, even the
I just
chimney.
felt such a sadness
Yeah.
when you started to say that.
That house was very sad when I left. And the trees were sad. Everything was sad. In fact, freak of nature, I just happened to drive by there on the way over this morning, and it was the first time it wasn't screaming at me to come back. And I have to let it know, I have no control over this situation.
Right.
None.
What if you could?
Oh, boy, if I could, that would have been
Yeah.
great. It was, a couple 100-year-old farmhouse. I know, it was the perfect New England scenario for a California girl. Yeah, it was great.
So what brought you to New England from California?
Man, that's a whole drama story I don't even want to go into.
All right. We're not going to go into that
It's in the
then.
past, let's leave it there.
All right. So now I understand you're going to be at the Web of Light.
Yes,
So
I am.
at the expo on April 21st and 22nd. So
Yes.
what are we doing at the expo?
I will be doing the tap tuning. I wanted to do the saging, but Kevin said that the alarms will go off. That would not be good.
Yeah, the hotel doesn't. They kind of frown on
They
that.
kind of frown on smoke with good reason.
I know.
Right. So I'll be doing the tap tuning. I will be bringing a massage table. If they're comfortable laying down, I'll have a booth and all, and I'll be in the corner.
Nice.
And so I'm making it where it can be quiet enough, to tap tune and, raise vibrations and.
Exciting.
It is. It's my first expo, so I'm really, really
Oh.
excited about it.
It should be very good. It should be very busy. I did the one in Nashville last year, and as Kevin likes to say, we had nearly 1,000 people.
That's wonderful.
It was 998.
Just say 1,000, because you don't know somebody's,
He was saying 1,000, and people kept correcting him.
Oh.
And he's like, seriously? 2 people?
I know.
It's
Jeez.
safe to say 1,000.
There was staff there. It was over 1,000.
There you go.
There you
See?
go. See? Yeah.
There must have been hotel guests. We could have been closer to 2,000. Who
There you go.
knows?
There
See?
you go.
You got it. So it'll be a very good time. I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent.
I'm already thinking about, I'm going to have to block out some time so that I can go around.
Yeah.
Because I know I want to see the astrologer that you had on.
Yeah. Dorothy Morgan.
Yes,
the
I
Web
would
Play
love
astrologer.
to visit her and see what she has to say, what's going
Yeah,
on.
and she is giving 2 presentations.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So yeah,
That'll be very interesting.
yeah, they're going to be good. So do you have any other events or any classes, anything coming up?
Nothing. About 2 years ago, I was in a kitchen at a friend's house, and we were discussing, what we do, what she does, and we've had this discussion before, but somehow, when I was really being passionate about this is what I really want to do, she just looked at me and she said, Mary, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And it was the right time in my life, because it was just the key that unlocked the lock, and I've been going forward with it ever since.
Congratulations.
So now another friend invited me to the Dowsers Convention in New York in June, and now it's like I'm getting out there.
So your world is really opening up by
Yes.
following your passion.
Exactly. And then even an office space opened up where I live. Exactly.
See?
Things are opening up. So
It's
very exciting.
I will say this to you, as I say to many of my students and clients, when you're hitting all green lights, you're going the right way, and
Yes.
you're hitting all green
I'm
lights.
hitting all green.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Thank you.
I like it.
It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Very nice, very nice. So I think, okay, so how do I want to say this?
There was one thing I did want to bring up,
Oh,
not to interrupt
please.
you. To anyone out there that decides to sage, whenever you light sage, just like lighting incense, you need to have there must be an intention. If you're just lighting it to light it, basically you're just going to get the smell of sage. However, when you're in a space, let's just say you just don't know what to do, and you need to switch the energy in your space. Just take a bowl that's not going to crack under heat, and make sure it has high sides on it, because you don't want any fires.
Right.
Put the sage, break it up, put it inside. I use one of those clickers because I
Yep.
don't want to. I don't want to
Right.
use a match, you
Yeah.
know, because of burning. And when it lights, you lightly blow the flame, and just sit there with the intent of, I just need to switch the energy in this room, or I just need a break. But because the intent of sage is to release the negative energy that's around you. That's its job. And I just really wanted to get that, because a lot of people say, well, I light sage all the time, and I don't get this effect. And it's like, there needs to be the intent. If you don't have the
Right.
intent, you may as well just, turn your gas burner on,
Well, and that goes into exactly what I was going to ask you
Oh.
about, because a lot of people
I must have known.
well, see, but that was, I was just trying to figure out how to word it correctly. A lot of people do burn sage, but blindly,
Yes.
with no intent, and it can't do the work for you.
Right.
So you have to put the intent out there. Now, I love that you told them to put it in a bowl and light it, because I do that all the time. And I'm sure you've advised people to do this too. I will even use it for upcoming events,
Yes.
to clear the energy of an upcoming event.
Well, I already plan on doing that for the expo too. I was actually raising the vibration on this whole scenario out in the car before I came in. So it would be,
Right.
So it would be just a safe, I guess, safe environment, safe zone, for things to come out easily. And
Nice.
does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, 100%.
that's true.
Absolutely.
You get it. You would get it.
Absolutely.
But the other way too is, if you don't have any sage, if you need if you have any oil of peppermint, put some on a tissue or a napkin and wave it around. It's not like sage, but but I've only noticed that it works with the peppermint to change the energy and the feeling in your room
Right.
or in your space. Because I know in office spaces, you just had a really bad day and everybody's coming down on you, and you're thinking, I'm doing my best here, and you're getting frantic. You can't light sage, so that's what helps to have the peppermint oil.
Yep.
Because that's what I do after I have client after client after client. I just take the peppermint oil on a Kleenex and just clean out the whole place.
But it has to be peppermint oil.
It has to
Because
be
I know
peppermint.
some people that have tried to put like peppermint extract and all that.
No peppermint extract. We're not cooking. We're not cooking here. We're releasing somebody else's negative garbage.
Right, right.
Just think of it. Negative energy is this great big huge, those huge garbage dumpsters.
Yep.
That's what negative energy is. It's a huge garbage dumpster that you want to get rid of, because you cannot excel. You cannot move forward. Literally, you cannot. When you find yourself, God, why can't I just move forward? By golly, change your energy. Change the energy around you. If you're not able to do it in here, change the energy that's around you. And it's a start, and it helps.
Right.
It can get you out of the bedroom and at least, onto the couch. And from there, do some more. Then you're out the door.
Right. You can do it every step of the way.
Yes, they can.
So let me ask you, what is your opinion on sage oil?
Yeah, I know. It's just, I thought about that for the expo. I thought, oh, sage oil. I could use sage oil, but I'm such a sage person. I get a sense for my own self that it's not going to be as getting to the core.
And I agree with you.
Okay.
I have nothing against sage oil.
Yeah, and I've never used it.
Use it while you're cooking.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not for me. It's not for healing.
Right. I need the smoke. I need the ritual. I need the
Right.
cleansing feeling I get.
Right. I know. That feeling you get, exactly. I mean, when I'm working with the client and say, it's over the phone, and I light it, and it's like, oh man, I just came home. I have arrived. I am here now. Even though I was present, but and it works like that. It just
Right.
releases.
Nice. Very nice, yeah. And if I really want an experience, I will light a candle in my rock salt
Okay.
and then sage. So the two of them together just...
I have a question to ask you, because I was thinking about doing this at the expo, bringing Himalayan rock salt and putting them in those fake candles, you know, with the little,
Yeah.
and using that and seeing if that might emanate some positive energy into this area.
Well, what a lot of people do is they get little mini rock salt lights. And there's battery-powered ones now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they'll bring those and have them on their desk.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a candle, but you're not allowed to light real candles, so.
Yeah. That's why I thought the little fake flickering ones, and then maybe
Yeah.
some of the heat can emanate some of the rock salt. But if they have
but
battery
they don't get
ones,
hot enough.
okay.
So, I mean, while it's always helpful, no matter how
Right.
you have it, you know.
Thanks for confirming that.
Yeah.
I kind of had my suspicions. I was like, who can I bounce this off of?
Yeah, it makes a big, well, I think it makes a big difference. You know,
Yes.
so I love, though, that you're introducing people to such an easy tool. You know, because people,
not complicated.
they get overwhelmed thinking, oh, change my vibration. Oh my God, I have to, do, 5,000 whatevers, and I have to do this complicated
And
ritual.
we've been there.
and-
We've been there
We
too
have
in
been
our
there.
own journeys.
That's how come we can say that we know
Exactly.
people do it.
Yes, because like, oh my God, well, wait a minute. Now I have to, when people do candle rituals, well, now I got to write the thing in the candle. Man, you don't have to write anything on the candle anymore. You just have to sit there, light the sage, and,
Right.
be present.
Right. And I love that you're teaching people that it's easy. If you're making it complicated, you're just adding stress.
Right. And who wants that?
Right. You're making it easy. And I thank you for that, because nothing turns me off more than somebody who says, well, I will teach you to do this, but you need this, and this. And then you have to come back and pay me again to teach you how to do this, and this.
Yeah.
No, go
Yeah.
home and burn some sage with intent.
Yes. No, seriously, that's it. And if you don't have sage, just wave that oil around. It's just that easy.
It's that easy.
Right.
It's intention.
It is intention. Intention changes your frequency. Intention changes the vibration.
And sage just kind of helps move it along.
Yeah, it does.
Dissipates it, turns the negative
Right.
into positive, and
It does.
that's why, I tell everybody, grow sage, have it everywhere. I mean, I have big containers of dried sage in my pantry
Nice.
for, for
I have bags of it from getting
Right.
it from California.
yeah. I have a friend that he does that too, and he gives everybody little tiny baggies,
That's nice.
at events.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in Tehachapi, California, where there is sage everywhere. And I really miss that. And a friend of mine, she just sent me out 5 wands. She made them
Oh,
herself. And they happened to
nice.
have come right before my birthday. So I thought it was a gift, and it
nice.
really was a gift. And
Yeah.
I told her name's Vicky. And it was just like, oh, Vicky, thank you. To give someone who does saging, sage wands is just such a beautiful thing.
Right.
You know
Right.
it.
Yeah. See,
And it came from homeland, you know?
right? I mean, the thought and the love that went into that
Yes.
gift, and it wasn't complicated.
No.
It was a heartfelt, easy, meaningful gift, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just beautiful.
Well, the interesting thing was that just as I opened the box, I literally felt Vicky come out and here, sister, I'm giving to you this with all my love. Thank
That
you.
is beautiful.
And I even texted her and I said, I told her my experience. She was like, perfect, because that was her intention.
Nice. So now people call you on the phone.
Or email.
Okay, so they don't even have to come see you in person.
They
but
do not have to come see
we
you in
all
person.
want them to come see you at the expo
Yes,
and meet you in
yes,
person.
that would be awesome.
So you can do pets.
Yes.
You can do wild animals.
All of it.
Nice, very nice.
I've done land, where I'm just out there with a sage wand. I like being in person if it's possible. I would love to be there in person, but I can also do it from, remotely, from where I'm at if you're out in Europe or, just a couple towns away.
So let me ask you, and I did a clearing for a business.
Mm-hmm.
I went in, I saged it, I did all that. I locked in the positive energy with crystals at all their entry points.
You just made it more complicated.
Well,
Go ahead.
but I gave them the caveat.
Oh.
I said, I have cleared this out, but if you guys all come in the next day and dump your crap, I've wasted my time. So you guys have to decide. Do you want this to be a safe, happy space?
Right.
Or do you want it to be your dumping ground? Because just because I've cleared it once, now I protected you from the surrounding businesses.
Right.
But if you're physically bringing it in the door and dumping it,
You're going to get the same results.
you're going to be right where you started from.
Exactly. What I love doing is when someone asks me to come and sage their home and raise the vibration on their home, because I can raise all in the beams, the vibrations, is to do the occupants. Oh my, that's like the perfect scenario, because now everything's clean, and now they're not going to be bringing all that back into the house because now it's gone.
Well, I did tell them I could do the employees, but I would want to do them individually and privately, because they might have, right?
Yeah,
And
I always
and
ask.
they didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, they just wanted the physical structure done. That's why I had to give them that caveat.
Right.
But see, I'm glad you're confirming that,
If you want negativity out of your space and you're asking, please, I need you to get that negativity out of my space, well, don't bring it back in. It's just like you just vomited all over what I just cleaned up. Literally. It's because this has got to be different to go into this nice, clean, pristine, energetic, wonderful vibe place.
Well, the owner didn't even show up for the cleansing.
Oh, good
Had
grief.
somebody else do it.
Like, that's going to help, right? The main problem didn't show up.
And I can do the best I can do. I'm not I am a miracle worker, but if you're going to just undo the miracle.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's
No,
not.
I know, but
It's
I
not
know what
me.
you mean. I know what you mean.
But so good, yeah. And I love that you do the occupants of a home or a business or whatever, because that makes the biggest difference.
They're usually the biggest problem.
Right.
However, which I like doing homes that haven't been moved in yet,
Oh, yeah.
because I just got rid of years and years and years and years of garbage from all the other occupants who have lived there, especially out here, because you have hundreds and hundreds of year-old homes out here. We don't have that out in California, So to get rid of all of that, and then for me, because being clairvoyant, I also see the people too who used to live there who have passed on, and sometimes they like to hang out. It's just like it's getting it all cleared out, and then having them move into this nice, clean, pristine home.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I did that for myself when we moved in. And because, there was extenuating circumstances for our house. So I wanted to make sure that when we moved in, it was fresh and clean and just us in the house.
Yeah. Yep. I've done homes where I'm like, you have something here. Do you want it here, or do you want me to get rid of it? Like, well, is it nice? And, they always want to know, well, if it's mean, get rid of it. So it's like, sometimes it's not like that.
Right.
Sometimes they're nice, and then you might do something to tick them off, and
Right.
now they're not so happy.
Right. Like unexplained home renovations.
Oh my gosh. Do not dig up the carpet.
Well, I mean, it's okay to do home renovations.
Yes.
But at least give them a heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, hey, the carpet's worn. We're going to rip it out, and
Yep.
we're going to put some new flooring down. So don't be alarmed. It's just like you
Right.
don't rip the rug out from underneath your elderly parents, or tell your kids, hey, we're moving in an hour.
We're out the door. No, it's serious. It's serious. My mom, she actually did that in the house that they lived in, or they live in now. They dug up the carpet, and we're all sensitive in my family. And she dug up the carpet. She goes, Mary, she goes, Uncle Bill is here, Uncle Pete is here, Aunt Millie is, she went through all the family. Everybody showed up in the house. And it wasn't even people who had lived in that house. These were just family members who decided, well,
Let's see what's happening.
Sandra dug up the rug, so we have to go see what's going on.
Let's see if we approve.
Exactly. And they all went away after a while, But even my niece, Lindsay, came in, and she's like, Grandma, there's a lot of people in here, It was so funny. She says, yes, Lindsay, there are a lot of people in here. So.
That is so funny. I love that your whole family is
Oh, yes.
sensitive. That's wonderful.
Oh, yes. My dad, too. Although I don't know too much about my dad's family, but even my father himself, I would be talking to my stepmom, and she goes, I know you have something because I noticed it in your father too. And I'm like, well, what is it? She goes, well, one day he said we have to go up to the Donner Party, where the Donner Pass, because they live in Tahoe, where the Donner Pass is, because I have to go find that ring. And by golly, my dad found a ring from the Donner Party. It was beautiful.
Wow.
And nothing like you've ever seen, because it was from another
Right.
era. Just beautiful.
See, I love hearing stories of people who follow that gut intuition, that intuition speaks, spirit puts that little nugget in you and you follow it and amazing things happen.
It is. Again, with my stepmom, my dad would say, now I didn't know my dad was intuitive till after he passed away. Okay, I didn't know it, but he and I were as thick as thieves, But I know he knew that I had it, but he never voiced it. And that was really, I'd say, one of the downfalls in my family. Everybody has it, but we don't talk about it. It's like, oh, there, blah, 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 down the street. They whispered it. They didn't cultivate it.
Right.
So all of what my cultivation came later when I was 28, when my aunt noticed it in me. And then she was like, Mary, she laid out a tarot spread. She goes, just tell me what you see. She laid out a traditional spread, and that's how it all started.
Wow.
But anyway, getting back to where we were, which I don't remember where that
I
was.
don't know where we were either.
Oh, the stories of parents and stuff like that. My mom was big into astrology, but I had no idea my mom was intuitive till I started getting clues, growing up, going, wait a minute, I'm experiencing that too, but not verbalizing it.
Right.
So, but she was mainly into astrology and all of that.
Yeah, I find it funny when my mom would say, how do you know things? And I'm like, well, Mom, how do you know who's on the phone when it rings before you answer it? It's the same thing.
Yeah. My son one time got really mad at me. Mom, how come you're on the phone telling people those things? Blah, 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 blah. And I go, Ryan, it's what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. You know it. And one time I happened to be passing his room. And I'm hearing him. Well, just go look in your closet. I'm pretty sure it's there. And I said, Ryan, what are you doing? Well, I'm just telling someone where their book is because they can't find it. And I said, Ryan, I do the same thing, only sometimes I get paid for it. And after that, you know what I mean? He got it. It clicked in his brain, so he was good.
My kids are still working on the acceptance part.
Oh, all three of my kids are, my youngest has what I have, and she sees orbs, and she has the whole 9 yards like I do. And then my middle child, she's definitely an empath, and she always has to protect herself. And then my son is like I am, but he can pinpoint things better. He's really good at it. But I cultivate it in them. Look, you have this. It's in your blood. It's in your past.
Yeah.
Except for your dad's side, but it's on my side. And we will cultivate that. So they all know they have this gift, and by golly, all three of them use it, and I'm really happy that they do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is a blessing.
It is, because some people just dig their heels in
Right.
while stuff is going on around them.
Right.
And it's like, look, this is really happening. It's really happening. You're getting information. Why?
So we're just under 7 minutes. So
Oh.
tell everybody again who you are, what you do.
I am Mary
Why you do
Nelsen. Okay, I am Mary Nelsen. I sage people and I tap tune people to get a higher frequency, to a higher vibration, for health, for mental wellness, for happiness.
So is it safe to say you're helping people get it together?
I'm helping people get it together without having to go to a shrink. Seriously, because it's all in you. Your body will tell you what you need. It's all here. And
So no drugs, no lengthy this or that.
No lengthy nothing. It's not like I said, even going to a counselor, because some go back, see you again next week, next month, whatever. This is we get you to where you're good, and you have the tools to keep your vibration high, and then just call me whenever you need me.
And I love what you said at the outset about, pushing up under the counter or wiggling your
Yes.
toes or breathing deep. We can use
Breathing
that
deep.
anywhere we
Exactly.
are, under any situation.
You could do it at Walmart. When you're in line, you start getting really angry that these lines, it's not moving. What's their problem? Oh my gosh. Wiggle your toes. Be present. It's not about the person in line. You're becoming impatient. Your ego's getting in there. It's okay to be in line. It's all right. You have no control over it. It's okay.
It's an acceptance. It's releasing and accepting.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. I love it. And once again, you're going to be at the Web of Light Expo.
Yes.
And you're going to have a table in the healing room.
Yes.
So we invite everybody to come down and meet you, talk to you.
Absolutely.
Have a session with you.
Yes.
And, sit on or lay on your table as it would be.
Sit or lay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, I work with you.
Yeah.
I go with the flow.
Excellent. Now, let's say if somebody wants you to work on their dog.
Would dogs be allowed in the expo?
No.
Okay.
So would they need to bring you a picture or just an intent?
I would
or
actually,
would
all
they,
I'd have to do is just hold their hand.
easy peasy.
And I'd be able to work on their dog,
I love it.
their cat.
So
their
anything,
grandmother, anything.
they want you to work on.
Yes.
If they're not ready to do it on themselves, but I think you would recommend they do it themselves first.
That would be good. That would be very good.
So it's like
Because it's better for an individual to already be at a higher vibration if there was somebody or an animal that is at a lower vibration. But like you said earlier too, not taking it on. That is not your baggage. What they're going through, you don't own that. So be at this high vibration and be able to emanate. Like you have a sun right here and just push it out. This, your vibration. And you'll even make the whole scenario even better.
So by raising your vibration, you'll be able to help those you love
Yes.
raise their vibrations just by being in your high vibrational state.
Correct. Some people may not accept it though because, they're okay being in curmudgeon mode.
Right.
They're too afraid to be happy, or there is a definite fear because sometimes where they're at, that's all they know and that's all they have known.
Right.
So there might be, and you might have conflict.
So they're afraid to let it go.
They're afraid to let it go.
But animals never
Animals
have
want to
that.
get rid of it. They
Right.
don't want it.
Things never have that need to hold on.
Right.
So you can easily, by being in a high vibration, you can help your car, your house, your dog,
absolutely.
your
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
I love that. And it's easy.
It's so easy.
So just go out and get a sage plant. Organic, preferably.
Yes. Put the intent in the sage. Granted, I do have this ability where, here, I'll just have you hold my hand really quickly, and then you can just feel the vibration that I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
See that? So I do have that in touch to help people,
You do literally vibrate.
Yeah, I do literally vibrate.
It's very cool. It's very cool. That is too awesome. Oh, I should have had you do a thing on me, but yeah, we're strapped in.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I hope I didn't pull it out.
No, you're good.
Okay,
You're good.
Are you still connected?
Yeah, I forget, honestly, that it's there. So hopefully we didn't hurt anybody's ears.
I know. Sorry. That whole rustling around.
It's all good. It's all good. And I'm sorry, you told me, where are you located?
I am located in Canaan, New Hampshire.
Canaan.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming all this way.
It was a privilege and an honor. Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming out and sitting with me today. As we all know, I'm a nervous wreck. You
didn't.
I
You
don't
got
wanna,
over it. You got over it.
I want to make Dr. Kevin happy.
He will be happy. He was excited for me to come on here. I've never heard anybody doing that.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. That tapping that you do, I've never heard of anyone that does that.
Well, he asked me what was I think it's called EFT.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So I just said no. But I know it's that, for like keeping constant, whatever.
Yeah.
I know of it, but I really don't know it. And I just said no, and he asked me what I did, so I told him. He's like, I don't know anybody who's doing that.
Right, and I think more people need to learn how to do this. I mean, it's just, it feels so right to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's easy. It's not that complicated.
It's not. And like you said, you go through where I'm helping you, and then you're able to do it yourself.
Right. But I just thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
hope more people, I hope you'll have classes. I hope you'll teach people to do this because
My world has not gotten that big, but by you saying that, it's like, I would love to help people. Because, I learned, You know,
Right.
and then people who are like you know, you have a heightened sense of sensitivity. You know, it's even, I know the word that comes in is clinches. It just,
Yeah.
you know, latches on, and then you just get it, and then you see more, and you're able to go to many levels in helping other people.
Well, thank you again, and have a good week, everybody.
Thank you.